Hi, I'm CJ, and in this video I'm going to be showing you how to write a recursive program designed to reverse a string that has been entered and output this reversed string. So there are two main parts to a recursive program. The first part is called the base case. This is the end goal of the program and pretty much tells the method when it's supposed to stop and output and go back through itself and output the end result. The other part of this is called the recursive case. This is the part of the method which actively calls itself and allows it to reach this end goal. In the example that we're going to be working on today, it's designed to take a string which has been entered, for example hello, and flip this back onto itself. So in the event of hello, it would create O-L-L-E-H. We're going to jump straight into the coding here. Here you'll see I've set up a class called Recursion and already set up the main method inside of that, just to speed things up a bit. So the first thing we're going to have to do here is create the actual method. So we're going to make a public static. It's going to return a string. So we set up a string like that, and it's going to be called, we'll call it reverse. So what you're going to enter into reverse is a string called str. So now we've got to open this up. It's giving this because it needs to actually return a string, and we've got nothing set here. Yeah. So the first thing we're going to do is create our if statement, because every recursive method needs an if statement to separate when it's using the base case and when it's using the recursive case. So in this example, we're going to set the base case. Now the base case for this is going to be what we want it to shoot out when it's finished. So what we're going to want it to return is simply, well, the end result, the string. We want it to return str. That's simple enough. Then we're going to create an else, and now we've got to set the condition for when it's going to decide it's finished. So for this program, because it's trying to flip the word, it's going to want to finish and say, okay, I flipped every single letter over to the end when the string that's being analyzed inside the method, inside the recursive part of itself, is of length 1 or less. So we're going to say if str.length is less than or equal to 1, then we're going to say we're finished, and we're going to just return str. Else, and this is where we're now going to have to put in the actual recursive method part, the recursive case. Now, I don't know the easiest way of doing this, but I'm going to try and break it down for you as simply as I can. So I've got Word here, I've got Paint here, sorry, to try and show that. So we're going to say our string is hello, because that's the one we worked with earlier. When we're putting this in, what we're trying to do is we're going to want to take this first letter and we're going to want to store it separately, move it over here, and we're trying to put that to the end, and then do that for every single letter. Put it just next -1. The end result of this will of course be O-L-L-E-H. So when we're doing it with recursion, what we're doing is we're going to work with one letter at a time, pretty much. So what we're going to do is force it. So every time it's going through, what we're doing is we're taking the word that's been entered, and we're going to take this first character. This is at position 0 in the string, and we're going to add it on to the very end. And before that, we're going to take this part, and to take this part we can use the substring method and get it to only take from this, which is number 1, take from that onwards. That's by doing dot substring 1. And this will then leave us with, so after one iteration, or one recursion, sorry, will leave us with LOH. So then we're going to put this back into the string, back into itself. So it's now going to work with this part, and it's going to do the same here. So then this will give us, this part's already staying here, and it goes to give us LLOEH. Now if you can see, there's already a link showing up between this case and what's happening here. The parts are being worked almost as a stack to move everything on in a recursive pattern. So this is going to then work on the next part to work on that, and in the end it will be left with, in separate layers, it will be left with an O and an L and an L and an E and a H, and everything's kind of getting a bit messy here. But it will then be jumping through this, and it will output, it will return this first, then it will give this, then it moves on to the next L, then the E, and then the H, which will end up giving us this. So that's the easiest way I can explain it, really, but it's not a very good job. But now we're going to have to try and code this. So it's not that hard if you're able to understand what I've gone through there. So we're going to want to return, and then because it's a recursive case, it needs to call itself. So we're calling reverse, and it's going to do the substring part. So we're going to have str.substring and then 1, and this is going to be the part that's going to be recursively called to act in on itself, like we've shown in this part here. So on the end of this, we're going to need it to then return the other part, the first letter, which will be added on the end every time. So we do that simply like that, and all of this is going to need to be returned in the end. So this should now work, and show it by just doing system.out.println. Then we're calling the method which we've made down there, reverse, and we're gonna call hello, because that's what we've been working with this entire time. So now if we run this, and you'll see it's done it down here in the console. It's effectively just reversed the string there. So hopefully you've been able to understand this. Hopefully I've explained it quite well, and this will be of some help to you, even if it's just for creating this program yourself.